Last year I explained a bit about our testing cycle. I'll tell you something completely different this time, but I have the same approach, and I'll tell you more about it. So it's still about the same school, but this time it's named Breda University of Applied Sciences. We changed names. We were formerly known as NHTV. We are a public-funded school for higher education, middle-sized, about 7,000 students, and about 750 employees. A lot of them are part-timers, so it looks like a lot of employees for the amount of students. Our students do an average of 10 exams, at least, but we also have domains that like to make a lot of exams. So some students do 80 exams on average, and the ones that tend to do every resit that's possible, they always think that the first opportunity is like a formative test. They can do about 130 if they want in their school career. So, shortly about me and about my approach. I think it's my hair. I'm an educational advisor within Breda University, and it's officially named as an educational policy officer. I'm also the project coordinator for digital testing, and we mainly use Surpass for that. I'm also a member of the assessment committee, which means that I am asked for my opinion a lot, but I can also give my opinion when it's not asked for. I make use of that a lot. In my presentation, there's also a lot of personal opinion from me, so it's not what NHTV, sorry, this mistake I make still a lot of times, Breda University thinks, but it's also my personal opinion. What I'm going to explain is, shortly, because I don't have a lot of time, the current progress. I adjusted my presentation during the break because there are a couple of similar things from Angela's presentation this morning. The current process is mainly about the what and the how. So the quality improvement and safety improvement and new regulations. We also have an educational strategy and dreams and actions I will tell more about. So, the decision from the Dutch Association of Universities of Applied Sciences, they decided that all employees from higher education that work with exams have to do the basic qualification of examiners. It's like a course. It will take most employees about 40 hours to show that they really know what assessment is about. Most people hate it. They think, I make exams for 30 years, and somehow now they're going to ask me if I'm doing it correctly. When they're starting the course, most of them still don't like it, and some of them get to know, wow, I made some serious mistakes in my career. I have learned something new after 30 years, and that's something good. There are also new safety regulations within most higher education institutions, because one institution made a big mistake a couple of years ago, and we all have to pay for it. There are new rules for invigilators for digital tests, like don't sit in front of the classroom when you're invigilating a digital test, but go in the back, so you see what happens on the screens. Also new assessment policies, the amount of questions in a database, things like that. This is mainly because of the accreditation organization of the Netherlands and Flanders. Most lecturers especially think that they have been doing a great job, but it's because they're checked now that they are making some adjustments. What I think is funny is that they now think that when we do digital tests, more things are going to go wrong. So when we are doing a normal paper-based tests, and there are 200 students in the room, nothing is going to go wrong. It's safe, we are there, they can't do anything. But as soon as we have 20 students behind a computer in a small room, all of a sudden they're going to start talking about earplugs, smartwatches, and then it's all of a sudden not safe anymore. There's a Dutch saying about it. Is to see bears on the road. What it means is if someone comes up with a new idea and it's something new, they're going to search for everything that might go wrong when we're going to do it. And that's something that happens all the time. So then we also have the educational strategy. So that's not about rules and regulations, but it's more about what we want to do with our education in the future. It's some big words that don't say a lot because we don't know exactly how we're going to do this. Like time and place independent. A student should be able to do an exam wherever he is at that moment. Inclusive education. So whenever you have disabilities or in the hospital, you still should be able to do your exam. We want all students to go abroad, to go on internships. And if they still have to do a resit, well, let's do the resit over there. It's all good ideas, but with making more regulations and more rules, this is going to be difficult. So, what I see is a gap. It's an English saying, mind the gap. I heard it yesterday like 100 times. Universities of applied science, they work on quality and security. But on the other hand, they want to think about new possibilities, new opportunities, and digital testing is part of that. I don't think that we need rules and regulations and accreditations to get a step further, to go to the future. I think we really need the pioneers. That's people with guts. We just have to have one lecturer that's interested in digital testing, to do something new, to use a video, to use bring your own device. They have to have a manager with an innovative drive, otherwise they won't. Well, I think it might be hard if your manager doesn't agree. What you need is Surpass and a bit of knowledge of the system, and maybe money and projects, and that it takes time to do something new. There's also another possibility, just someone that tries something new without asking. That's something happening all the time, and I love it. I love it when lecturers want to go rogue. I will always help them with it. What happened is that we just did bring your own device without asking the Board of Examiners, without asking any policy officer or whatever. I'll always say, I'll help you, I'm right behind you. So we did bring your own device, we did a secure marker. The lecturers, a couple of them who used it, don't want to go without it anymore. And then we have to explain to the manager, well, we might have done something, but let's go further with it. It's also a pilot with a formative test we did, and I will explain later on. That's the Cotter case. Here it is. It's Dr. Cotter. He wrote a book about change management, and we have a minor about modern business in a changing world. The students had to read the book. There's no exam about it. It's in their 4th year, the last year of the study program. They have to show that they're the competencies and not just the theory of the book. What this lecturer asked me, I have 60 students. If I give you 25 items and you make a test of 30 items, they will pass after 20 correct answers. But don't tell anyone about it. I will tell the students you have to pass this test, but it's nowhere in the system. But they don't know it. That was good. We did the exam. I even had someone, Angelique over there, my colleague, she worked day and night to get the codes to the students, to help them with the bring your own device because they were making the exam at home. That all of this was new. And the most fun thing about it is that we just send them the key codes and the passcodes. And they all did it by themselves. So they were able to log on the web-based delivery. They all made the exams, and I will show you the results. Here they are. So they had to do 30 items, and all of a sudden they scored almost 10 out of 10. You can imagine what happened. Students sat together at home. They had the books, an extra laptop to go on the internet. But they might be laughing, haha. The lecture is a bit stupid. We didn't have to do anything because we could find anything on the internet. But the lecturer, on the other hand, was laughing as well. He said, I have the idea that 80% of the students actually read the book to make this exam, whereas last year, in this period, 80% of the students didn't even have bought the book yet. It made us really happy. Well, this also learned us that it's not a big step to ask students to do a bring your own device test, to do a formative test, to do something at home. They're actually quite handy with it. So, the end of my story. We're going towards competency-based learning, which means less theory exams, but more about what are your capabilities, things like that. And it's assessment for learning. It's a bit what Angela spoke about this morning as well. It shouldn't be a snapshot. When a student is ready to do a specific exam, we should be able to deliver it at that moment. We want to provide good feedback. Formative assessment is really important. They are in school to learn and not to show what they've done. They should be able to use their knowledge in their career. And that's why we want to make the next step to formative testing. That's it.